Welcome to 15-Minute Theatre, the only review show that squeezes a whole production into 900 seconds. The date is the 24th of January 2018, and we've just been to see The Twilight Zone. Hey Vic.
Hi Jim Bobolob.
How's it going?
Not too bad, thanks.
I am tired.
How are you? Why are you so tired?
I don't know, it's just been a long day.
Oh.
And the weather's been bad, it's been winding and raining.
All the weathers.
All weathers.
Yeah, 4 seasons in one day.
Oh.
That crowded house.
Anyway, we've just been to see The Twilight Zone.
We have, yes.
Shall I tell you a little bit of information about it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's obviously adapted from the television series from the 60s.
Yeah.
This stage version was adapted by Anne Washburn, directed by Richard Jones, and it's at the Ameida Theatre. It was an ensemble cast, so I'm not going to point out any actors.
No.
We didn't recognise anyone else.
There was nobody famous in it. Or maybe there was, but we just don't know who they are.
And it's running until the 25th of January.
I don't think it's running till the 25th of January. Oh, I think that's what I told you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not. I think it's the 27th.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But it finishes this week, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you can't see it.
So I completely lied to you. But maybe it'll transfer, because they've got a history of transferring shows from there, haven't they?
So, do you want to tell us the synopsis?
I don't know why this is always my job, because I feel like I'm quite bad at it. The synopsis is, it's basically the TV show, but on the stage. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on. There's aliens, there's murderers, there's weird nightmare, there's different dimensions. It's like a chaotic trip through some weird, crazy stuff.
And it's literally the TV series. They've taken 6 or 7 episodes, haven't they? Cut them all up and spliced them all together.
Yeah.
So, before we get into it,
yeah,
should we talk a little bit about the auditorium?
What would you like to say about the auditorium?
What the hell was going on tonight?
There was some aggression in the audience, wasn't there?
There was. There was this one girl. What did she say?
Oh, she didn't say excuse me to ask people to walk past them. She said something really ridiculous.
We're all on the same team.
Come on, guys, let's play on the same team, guys. As she forced them to stand up. I don't know. I would have been a little bit cross if she'd said that to me.
Absolutely. And then at the interval, we had this whole row in front of us explaining what the Twilight Zone was, basically.
Yeah, so basically they didn't act out each story one by one.
But they were very upset about that.
Yeah, they intertwined them, didn't they?
Which I thought made it work really well.
I think it probably made it more interesting. But they didn't like it, did they?
Not at all.
They were quite cross.
So, did you like it?
I did like it, yes.
Yeah, me too. It was fun. It was enjoyable.
It was fun. I mean, I don't think it's the best thing I've ever seen. But on the other hand, I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Which hand is that?
My best hand is my right hand. My worst hand is my left hand.
It is. I really enjoyed just sitting back and watching it. You didn't have to think very hard. The stories were fun.
There was some laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the time kind of sped by, really.
It did. And also much more comfortable seating than
that
the
helped.
Trafalgar Studios, wasn't it?
Although we were forcibly moved as well. They were really aggressive.
Well, we sat in the wrong row.
Well, we did.
It's our fault.
So, let's just talk a little bit about the design.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed, but it was all set in like a giant TV screen.
No, I did notice that.
Oh, yes. You did notice that. And also, did you notice that all the costumes were grey, like the black and white TV screen?
It's funny you should mention that, because I did also actually notice that, yes.
Okay. Is there anything you didn't notice?
Did you notice that they had some good wigs? I like the wigs.
They did have good wigs. And I thought the costumes were great.
The costumes were strong.
And I loved the way they did the set. So they had bits of the set spinning in and spinning out.
So it was like the set was the night sky. really, wasn't it? The floor was the nut.
Yeah, I mean, do you know the TV show? Have you seen it?
No,
Okay.
no.
So, the opening credits of the TV show starts with a starscape, and then you see like the EMC's equation rolling in, and you see a spiral rolling in.
Okay.
So that makes a bit more sense.
So now I know that.
Because they had
things that I was confused by make a bit of sense.
So they had actors with like big circles of like a door or the equation spinning around. And when they did it the first time, it looked great, but they got a bit tired, I think.
I just thought they were being weird.
No, it was recreating the TV show.
There was actually a purpose to it. Okay.
Yeah, so I thought that was quite good.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the story. Or the stories.
The multiple stories. I mean, they were quite weird, weren't they?
Yeah. Did you have a favourite?
I did have a favourite moment. Are we doing favourite moments yet?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
That's no rules.
My favourite story.
So, I quite liked. Well, I was really excited about the dummy because they had a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
But I think the whole point of the dummy was it was supposed to move on its own.
Maybe they didn't have the money for the technology.
But it was just sat on a bar, and it could have just had somebody behind it working the dummy.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand why that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have done more with that. I like the story, I think, with the people who'd gone to space and they'd come back and they kept disappearing. And
oh yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Go on.
No, you go on.
I was going to say the Olivier moment when they were all trying to get into the nuclear bunker and they were all acting their socks off.
Oh, they did some really heavy acting there.
Real heavy acting.
My favourite moment, can I say my favourite moment?
Yeah, go on.
So my favourite moment, even though it wasn't my favourite story, was... So there was a guy who didn't want to fall asleep because he was having these weird dreams and there was a really strange woman in it.
No.
And then she did a song.
Catwoman.
She did a song, which I was not expecting. And it had these really quite amazing mask people, i.e. people with masks on. They were quite grotesque, weren't they? And they were dancing, and that was my standout moment. It was so surreal. But I'm a big fan of the masks.
It's fair to say you're a bit of an expert. We talked about this before.
What, in masks?
Yes.
I did do a mask and physical theatre module in my degree.
I remember.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago, but I think you'll find I'm quite the pro.
For me, I couldn't really take that bit seriously.
I thought it was brilliant.
Did you like that bit?
Yeah. But I didn't take it seriously, clearly.
No, I didn't take any of it seriously, but it was fun. So, let's talk a bit about acting.
Yeah.
So
they really did some acting, didn't they?
There was a lot of acting in the show. And there was one guy, we should really give him a name check, because we both kind of came out of that and thought, hey...
We both had a favourite, didn't we?
Yeah.
He played a bus driver, he played a colonel. I'm going to call him Oliver Alvin Wilson.
Yeah.
I believe that's his actual name.
Yeah, that was him. He was brilliant.
Yeah, he was my favourite, definitely.
I don't think we need to talk about the ones we didn't like, because I think that's a bit mean, probably.
There were definitely some that were stronger than others.
I suppose it was hard because they were playing lots of different characters, all with different American accents. So
some of the accents were a bit ropey, weren't they?
A bit hokey.
Yeah.
But I'll forgive that because I wasn't bored. Oh, that's what I loved.
Do bad American accents make you bored, usually?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a bad American accent. I'm so bored.
But the scenes were really short.
They were short.
And I really like short
Always
scenes.
A blessing.
Yeah. So, that's like we don't like theatre at all. So I thought it was a really good, well-adapted script.
Yeah.
And what about the lighting and special effects?
There weren't really lots of special effects.
Well, they turned the lights off a few times. Was that a special effect?
There was a couple of power cuts. They weren't real power cuts, obviously.
I mean, the transitions were brilliant. The way they move from, like, a living room into a bar.
What? How some people came and pushed the things on, and pushed them off again.
Well, it looked good.
They did it well. They did it with flair. They spun the chair around before depositing it in its rightful place.
And you were a fan of the Catwoman song.
Yeah, but the rest of it I didn't like. The rest of that story was, I think, one of the weaker stories. But it was just so surreal and weird.
Well, it's very hard to do sinister surreal. It feels a bit A-level theatre, doesn't it? Running around going...
Yeah, there was a few sort of over-the-top laugh moments that were a bit poo.
So, did I ask you, have you got a stand-up moment?
I've told you already.
I can't remember.
It was the singing with the masks.
Oh, great.
You have the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah, I'm tired. I can't retain facts tonight.
What was your stand-out moment?
My stand-up moment?
Tell me. I'm curious.
I think... Do you know, well, I can't give you a stand-out story.
Sure.
I got quite enchanted by the story of the guy who was going to the different solar system and he was going to be cryogenically frozen.
Yeah.
But it really ended badly because they brought this old guy on to play, like, because he'd obviously aged about 50 years. And he didn't say anything, he just stood there, but he couldn't act.
I feel like maybe he was just one of the stagehands.
Yeah.
And they just rolled him, or someone's dad or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just he was on day release. They just get a different guy out every night. They just wheel him onto the stage and he looks confused and then they wheel him off again.
Oh, but look, I came out of it feeling quite elated.
It was fun.
Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah, even though the audience was really aggressive. It was fun.
Yeah, we're trapped at the back, nice and
Yeah.
safe. All right, so we're going to take a break and then we'll come back and score it, shall we?
Alrighty.
Great. Okay, so as ever, you were late, so I went and got the
Not
water.
my fault. Not my
You
fault.
say that every time. Always late.
There was a tube problem.
Okay, all right, still late. But that meant that
Not my fault.
I bought the refreshments,
Yeah.
which consisted of some peanuts in a plastic tray.
Yeah, they were alright, weren't they?
Once
They
again,
weren't just
killing the
peanuts, though.
planet.
They had some cashews in there.
I didn't get a cashew, I just got a couple of peanuts.
Oh, there were some other nuts
You
in
must have
there.
got to them first.
Yeah.
But I also bought the water. So I can tell you, Vicky, that the cost of a bottle of water from the Ameida Theatre was £2.
£2.
Which isn't bad at all. It puts it
It's not bad.
on equal billing with the Wilton's Music Hall.
Though again, I am having this moral dilemma about how can we stop people using single-use plastic?
Well, I've been thinking about this. So I don't know when the Olivier Awards are.
Yeah.
Do you know when they are? It'll be soon, won't it?
No, but what are we going to do? We're going to stand outside with some signs.
No, I just thought we'd stop the...
Should we wear
stop
some
our
masks and do some physical theatre outside?
We could put ourselves in giant
dying.
plastic bottles. No, I was thinking we'd just stop the water feature when we get to the Olivier Awards.
Okay, fine.
Because it'll be like a new season.
Sure.
But we need to think of a new feature. If anyone's got an idea for another feature,
With our huge
I
listenership.
could buy peanuts. Price of peanuts.
Yeah, but some people are allergic to nuts, so it's maybe... I don't know. We'll think of something.
I don't think people go running out and buying this water when we've told them how much it costs.
Oh, I must immediately go to the Trendy Young Vic to buy the £1.70 water so I can get in Sainsbury's for 55p.
Right. Okay, let's score it.
Right.
Whose turn is it to go first? I think it's yours.
Yeah. It's a difficult one, this one, because I did enjoy it, but I don't think it was up to the standard of some elements of it were not up to the standard of some of the
that's why we
things
break
I've
it
seen.
down into 5 categories.
Yeah.
So
but then
performances.
I can never remember what I've given other things, so it's difficult to know how to
Go
judge
with your
it.
gut instinct.
Okay, so performances. That one guy that we mentioned, whose name I've forgotten already, was excellent. The others varied from being good to being a little bit not so good. So I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Okay.
Is that too low? Oh, I feel so mean.
Well, I felt the same. I thought there was a couple of really stand-up performances. There was maybe one or two that weren't. Well, there was one guy who just kind of was a bit over the top.
Tom
Don't
Hardy on a
mention
bad
it.
day.
We're trying to be nice.
Yeah,
but
he's got potential.
But so I'm going to give it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah, because
I've been really mean.
Oh, you have. All right.
Okay.
So staging and technical. Now, because it related to the TV show,
Yeah.
I really like the staging and technical.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 9.
I don't think technically it broke any boundaries. Staging was good.
Yeah, but surely we have to mark this out of whether it works as a piece.
It does work as a piece.
All right.
Maybe it's because I'm not familiar with the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
But I feel like 9 is too high.
Otherwise, it's just people carrying around big signs.
Yeah, I'm going to go 7.5.
Okay. All right.
Or 75, as James has written.
There's a dot.
You love this. You're really trying to push the score
up. Narrative, plot, and music.
Pretty strong.
You've got to give them an extra point for the cat song.
The cat song was wonderful. I was not expecting it. Oh no, the pen's broken.
Yeah, it's all right.
Is that because you've been fiddling with it?
No, it was already broken when you gave it to me. Okay. Anyway, go
on. I'm going to go for an 8.
Okay. Well, we're talking about the narrative, talking about the story.
Yeah.
They are. It's classic. They're classic Twilight Zone stories. I love those sort of stories with one with a twist. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
You're really scoring this highly.
Well, I can't help it. All right, originality. All right, so I'm going to give that a 5 because it wasn't original, and I didn't think any of the cast did anything that was spectacularly different.
Yeah,
they were doing imitations of people from the TV show, so I don't think there was any original kind of stuff going in there. Well, that's
I guess it was original in the way it was staged. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I don't know the thing. I'm going to go for 7.
Okay, you're really average. And was it worth it?
I'm going to go for... It definitely was worth it. I'm going to go for an 8.
And I'm going to do an 8.5. 8.5. Because...
Just because you want 2.5, so you've got a whole number, so it's easier to do the maths.
That's not at all. Honestly, because I didn't check my watch. And I'm usually checking my watch all the time.
Yeah.
And
I really don't know why you come to theatre.
Well, I like short pieces.
You just basically just want something to do a podcast on, don't you?
Yeah, it's the only thing I could think of.
Theatre.
Right, anyway, while I work out the scores, do you want to tell the listener what we're going to see next?
Yeah, sure. Oh no, I think I've dropped a bit of the pen in my tea. So next week we are going to see The Divide at the Old Vic, which I don't actually know anything about apart from it was supposed to be in 2 parts, but apparently it didn't need to be 6 hours long, so it's now only in 1 part.
I had a word with them and said it's too long.
Sorry.
I'm not coming.
So that'll be nice. I like the Old Vic.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm looking forward to that. James is still doing the maths.
Okay, so I've worked out the maths.
Oh, he's worked out the maths.
I haven't done head maths. It's just calculating maths.
We can't rely on your head maths.
Okay, so it gets a star rating of 3.9.
Which is not bad.
It's not bad at all. And I think that's probably a fair rating. So it puts us just above The Exorcist.
And I think if you bear in mind we've just been to see this, we haven't had a lot of time to think about it when we change the scores. And also, if I was,
are you going to say that every week?
No, well, because somebody said to me that we should make sure people know this because it's sort of our USP. Is that the marketing term?
Oh yeah.
It's a unique selling point. And also, if I was doing ratings for like a newspaper or something, I probably wouldn't rate it the same. I maybe wouldn't be quite so harsh on it.
What would you give it then if you were rating it for what newspaper?
Actually, no, I'd probably give it the same.
Yeah, exactly.
So when the Guardian comes knocking at my door for my excellent theatre reviews...
Well, 3.9, if you were going to rate that out of stars, you'd give it a 4 star.
Yeah, sure, which is good.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't deserve 4 stars, so I think 3.9 is right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just puts it just below 31 hours, which you didn't see anyway, so we kind of scratched that one.
Oh no, I didn't see that one. Which one was the one I was asleep in?
That was The Wings, which is right at the bottom of the box of the lights.
Yeah, that's because I was asleep.
So good stuff. Well, Vicky, it's a bell.
Oh, that damn bell.
Dang bell. So I'll see you next week, I suppose.
Yeah, well...
When are we back? Next time.
That's exactly when we're back. We'll be back next time. Look forward to seeing you / speaking to you then.
Oh, please review us and rate us and do all that stuff. I know you say it at the end as well, Vicky, but please just rate and review us. Maybe I need to say it in a new... Now my voice isn't so husky, maybe I should do it that way again. Yeah, that'd be good. But can you just do it for us? Because it really helps us get us on the map and stuff. It would be great, thank you. Alright, so the curtain's down, the theatre's dark, and that was 50-Minute Theatre. Good night. Good night.
If you're brave enough to have your theatre production reviewed, please contact us at 15minutetheatre@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter and please rate and review us on iTunes. Thanks for listening.